You're listening to My Grito Podcast Network, celebrating the culture of Chicanos and Latinos one story and voice at a time. Listen to more My Grito Podcast Network shows over at mygrito.net. Connect on social, on Instagram and Facebook at My Grito, the My Grito Podcast Network.
The Mind Buzz, now partnered with My Grito Industries.
Can you see? This podcast episode of The Mind Buzz is brought to you by House of Chingazos. House of Chingazos is a Latino-owned online store that speaks to Latino culture and Latino experience. I love House of Chingazos because I like t-shirts that fit great and are comfortable to wear. I wear them on the podcast and to the carne asadas. Click the affiliate link in the show description and use promo code TheMindBuzz. That's TheMindBuzz to receive 10% off your entire purchase. The cash saved will go directly to the Mind Buzz podcast to help us do what we do best, and that's bringing you more Mind Buzz content. Click the link in the show description for more. The Mind Buzz is powered by Mind Buzz Media. Mind Buzz Media is an on-site video and audio podcast production company. Have you ever thought about starting your own video and audio podcast? Or do you have an existing podcast that you want to take to the next level? Mind Buzz Media brings a professional podcast studio to you. Visit mindbuzz.org for more. May 4th, this Saturday, Santa Anita Michelada Rumble, hosted by the funny comedian George Perez. Get your tickets in the show description. If you're listening to this on Spotify or YouTube, go down to the show description, click the link to purchase your tickets for Michelada Rumble. Amber and I will be out at the event doing interviews. See you there. Let's go. What is up, Mind Buzz Universe? Welcome back to another podcast episode. This is GILL, and working the 2s and 3s behind this screen that you can't see is Amber. How are you?
I'm still laughing. Dang, we turned 5 years and you can't remember my name? That's freaking
we turned
horrible.
5 years. What did I say? Because I said Michelada Rumble like 20,000 times. And Amber. My bad.
It's all right.
You need a nickname.
No, I don't.
Do you call me Gil or Gilbert? Only when I'm in trouble, huh?
No, I don't call you Gil. If I'm talking to like someone you know or one of your friends, I say Gil because then they're like, his name is Gilbert. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Or like the lady when I was buying that cake. What did she say? She called me Gilberto. She's
like, oh, Gilberto.
Yeah. She's like, what's your name? I was like, well, I told her, don't you want to take my name? Like
You were trying to save.
Yeah.
Not hold.
I was putting it on will call.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, well, are you going to be here today? Yeah, sure. Don't you want to take down my name?
And she's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. What's your name? Yeah. Gilbert.
She's like, oh, Gilberto.
Yeah. But what can you do? I apologize for that. Yes, it is 5 years for that. And yeah, I was telling Amber, I was like, I'm going to have to go back and like to my joke book and rewrite a whole bunch of jokes and change them from 4. I'm in a relationship for 4 years and change them to 5.
5 years.
Yeah.
That went by fast.
It did, huh?
A big chunk of our relationship was during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it was at the start, right? Like,
yeah.
It wasn't even within the first year.
Yeah, it wasn't in the year.
It was a pandemic. So if you're out there and you had a relationship during the pandemic and you guys survived the pandemic,
and your relationship.
And there's nothing else that can break you guys up. If a world pandemic can't break any relationship up, then you guys are good. Right?
Yeah, I guess. No.
Oh man. So what do we got going on besides that besides
Amble?
Amble?
What do we have? Oh, tomorrow you have open mic.
We have the open mic, the Puro Laughs open mic in the city of Paramount at Horchateria. Sign up start at 8:30. Show starts at 9 p.m. Get there early because the list gets full quick. Yep. So get there right there 8:30 and
then
we'll take care of you.
Thursday, also at Horchateria, we're having an open mic, but for poetry. So sign up start at 7:30 and show starts at 8.
Do you have the flyer up for that?
I don't.
No?
But I can find it at some point.
See if you can find it. Poetry, Thursday night, 7:30 sign up, 8 p.m.
You know what? I don't
start.
have it.
No?
No.
Oh, that's fine.
I owe it, though.
That's fine. And then this Friday, confirmed, right? We're going to have the Santo Comedy?
Yes, Santo Comedy as well at Horchateria.
Santo Comedy free show, so RSVP because those seats fill up quick as well. Santo Comedy put on by the guys at Santo.
So it's a curated comedy show.
Curated. You'll see these guys on HBO, Netflix, Hulu. So a lot of comics from everywhere doing a lot of cool stuff. Coming to the shop and doing their set. So it's a good time.
And then on Saturday...
What do we got Saturday?
Michelada Rumble.
Oh, Michelada Rumble. We will be out there doing live interviews on site and also judging the micheladas out there. So it's going to be fun.
Come on out. There'll be music, michelada.
Voodoo Glow Skulls, the Paranoias, DJ Angie V, our homegirl Maria Sanchez will be out there doing a set. It's a good time. I went out there last year and it was just a blast. So I'm pretty excited that I'm able to be part of this event this year and it should be good.
Yeah.
Come out. I'm going to get a new haircut.
Oh my God.
I just made the appointment for Friday, so I'm excited about that. Come see my new haircut. If you don't want to watch the band, just come out and see my new haircut, okay? Let's see. What else do we got?
That's it.
That's it. And there is a story that I do want to tell, and I sent the video to you, Amber, to the Mind Buzz.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, about this past weekend, what happened at Laughs and Lowriders. Pretty epic. But before we get into that, let's bring in today's guest. I'm super excited to talk to this guest. Funny comedian. Also comes to our open mic. I've done one of my first shows with him as he headlined at the Continental Room in Fullerton. He's done the Laugh Factory. He does comedy all over California. Everybody give it up for Lucas Sisro. Thanks for being in the podcast, man.
Thank you. Appreciate the warm welcome. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Thanks for coming out and doing this. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's a great time.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. This was supposed to happen a few months ago.
Right. Yeah. I think you might have double booked or something, and then you have to bail. It's all good. Yeah. No worries. I'm glad we're finally able to make it happen.
Heck yeah. I think I was sick too, or one of us was sick, right?
I was sick.
You were sick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was me. It was my fault. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't your fault. There's no fault.
So today we were like, we got to get him on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. In spite of our 5-year anniversary. I was like,
we wanted to spend it with you.
Dude, yeah. I'm like, am I cockblocking right now? 5 feels like an important anniversary. That's half a decade right there, bro.
Half a decade.
You're good.
Who was it that? Oh, it was Martin Rizzo. You know Martin Rizzo?
I've heard of him. I don't know him.
He did the podcast, but it was his birthday.
Yeah, it was his actual birthday.
And we sang happy birthday on the podcast for him.
Nice.
He didn't tell us till almost at the end of the show that it was his birthday.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the hell are you doing here with us?
Yeah.
So
You probably had some lined up after, who knows?
Yeah, he said something about like the steak corral. No, not the steak corral, the golden
the
corral.
next day,
Oh, Golden Corral?
Yeah.
Next
The
day he was
buffet?
gonna go to
Yeah.
Golden Corral.
Oh, Golden Corral's fire, bro. Dude, $20 to get so much food. Yeah.
Is it still $20?
Actually, I don't know. When I used to go, I want to say it was like 15. You know, it was one of the cheaper buffets. Yeah, dude. Damn, back in the day.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they survived the pandemic. Not a lot of restaurants, like not a lot of chains. Hometown Buffet went down.
That was my favorite buffet. Like chain Hometown Buffet, dude. You don't. My childhood, I used to go. So when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, probably like 7, I lived in Fullerton at the time, and there was one like pretty close to our house. We'd go all the time. And I would go so often that the guy at the carving station like knew my name. He knew like what I wanted, like the usual. I was like, oh wow, I'm like I get the usual treatment, you know, dude. I would get like 1 or 2 slices of ham and then like a little bit of the beef or whatever it was, you know, some of that au jus. Oh, bro.
The carving station at a buffet is just like it makes it feel a little fancier.
Oh yeah,
It does, yeah, for sure. Even if it's something that doesn't deserve to be cut, you know, they're just like, all right, well, yeah.
They're carving hot dog weenies.
Yeah.
hot dog weenies,
Yeah.
carving up I don't know, sausage or something. what else shouldn't be carved? Ham, like those hams that you get in a tin.
Oh, those, yeah. It's like
or it's like burritos or something.
Yeah.
Why are you carving burritos? That doesn't make sense.
or
dude.
something that they don't want you to get too much of. Like I think they had the ribs back in the day. They're like, okay, like
Oh, yeah.
everyone's gonna get these ribs. You can't get 20 ribs. So here, let me give it to you. You know that type.
You know how they do it? They look at the size of plates when you go to buffets.
Mm-hmm.
Always look at the size of plates because they're usually smaller. And that's how they do it.
Right. You know what though? I do kind of like that because I'm one of those dudes where I don't like to combine 4 or 5 cuisines in one plate. You know, like I'll get a lot of food, but you know, I don't want my ham, you know, over here getting mixed up with like, I don't know, like Italian here and then like a Greek salad here. You know, that's just too much going on. Yeah. I like separate. Yeah.
Separate plates for seasons.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Or just vibes, you know? Yeah.
Vibes
like I'm
of
feeling
eating.
healthy vibe. I'm going to go with the little salad plate. Okay, I got that out of the way. All right, I'm going to be as unhealthy as possible. You know, fried chicken, everything, bring it on.
Yeah, dude. What I remember from Hometown Buffet, me and my cousin, because I lived with my cousins, and we used to have this game because we'd go like at least once a week to Hometown Buffet. My aunt would take us. And we would play this game like after we ate. We would see who can get the more ice cream. Not necessarily who can eat the ice cream, but who can pile it on a certain dish.
Oh, okay. Did you have to like finish it before it collapsed, like on the sides?
No, we didn't even eat it. We just poured it.
You just poured it?
You were just wasting it.
Yeah,
Whoa,
pretty much.
dude.
And that's what we did. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
you know,
fun.
your kids. Yeah, I get it. I mean,
Well, I was 16 and my cousin was like 9 or something like that.
I would get so stoked for the buffet or the dessert buffet, but I would be so full that by the time I get to the dessert, I'm just like, all right, let me make this crazy concoction of like the dessert, the sprinkles, all that bullshit, and then it's like, whoa. I'll take 2 scoops. I'm like, I'm full. You know, what do you want me to do?
Do you guys remember the mascot?
They had a
used to come
mascot?
out?
That a mascot?
Of
I thought you guys
Hometown
were.
Buffet?
I only went to Hometown Buffet like a handful of times, and I remember they had a mascot.
The mascot
And it
was
would
probably
come
for
out.
the rich people,
It
dude.
would
Yeah.
no, it would come out.
I don't remember
No,
that.
I went to the one right there in
Mascot?
Lakewood. Look, I'm gonna look it up.
I went to the one in La Mirada or Whittier. I think. No, Whittier didn't have one. I think it was La Mirada or Brea.
When I started going, I went to the one, I believe it was in Fullerton. It might have been Buena Park. And then I moved to LA and I started going, I think, to the Westchester one, right by the airport.
Yeah, see, it was. I was gonna.
What?
Tell you,
What?
I was gonna
No.
tell you guys what it was, but then I was like, no. I want to see if you guys knew. It was a bee, and he used to come out, and he used to
No,
greet
dude.
you.
No.
Yes,
I never saw this bee in my life.
This is a Mandela effect.
No.
I'm experiencing a Mandela effect at the moment.
I remember this. I remember seeing. Why do you think I brought it up? Because I had like unlocked a memory, and I was like, oh, the bee.
Pull up the history. See if there's a history of this, because I've never ever in my life.
Yeah, never.
You
Looks
guys
so
are probably
foreign to me.
badass kids, and they were like, "Let me not take it out."
The only mascot I remember from my childhood is like the Chuck E. Cheese rat. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, the bee was the hometown buffet.
What?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, put the.
What do you want to know?
I want to know the history of this thing, because it can't just come out of nowhere.
It didn't come out of nowhere.
It's coming out of nowhere right now.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Are they done like for good?
Yeah. Well,
hometown buffet.
I think they still survived in like another state or something.
Oh, I might have to make the drive just for the nostalgia.
See, vintage 1998 hometown buffet plush.
Mm.
We used to have plushies. It was
$100.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It was back in the 90s.
Oh man. 5 years in a relationship, and you think you know somebody.
Right?
She's withholding information.
I forgot about it till you guys started talking about hometown
Restaurant
buffet.
mascots, bro. Yeah.
Oh my God.
They
This
used
is
to
a
come
Mandela
out-
effect.
They used to come out and he used to like say hi to you, and then sometimes they would give you balloons and things like that.
Can you check if this is a Mandela effect?
It's
like,
not
honestly.
a Mandela effect. I remember it in person. in the
What
flesh.
is a Mandela effect? I don't think
You don't know
what
what a
that is.
Mandela effect is?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
So a Mandela effect, pull up the definition, but let me
He
give you.
doesn't know either.
Yeah, I do.
I totally know what it is. Hey, yo, pull it up.
So a Mandela effect is a certain person, place, thing, or an event that some of the population remember versus the different population. So some say that it's like a ripple effect in time that created two timelines of history. There you go. This Mandela effect, this phenomenon was dubbed the Mandela effect by paranormal researchers Fiona Broom.
No, this is one.
Oh. So yeah, right here. Look at who. So a Mandela effect is a vivid and detailed memories of news. Wait, hold on.
No, that's what I'm saying.
News coverage of. Well, this is how they named it.
So it's a false memory?
Yeah, it's pretty much it's a false memory.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are
So-
things that like people in the masses,
Like pull up the examples.
like in the masses, remember.
Right.
Let's see. Nelson Mandela's death. Okay. Oops, I did it again. Headset.
She had a headset, for sure.
Do you remember her wearing a headset
No.
in her video?
No. I
Okay.
don't.
Amber does. Amber remembers that.
Okay.
The spelling
Oh.
of Looney Tunes.
Uh-huh.
It's not tuned.
Oh, so it could be like something subtle that just flew right over your head.
Right.
This
Oh,
is one of
okay.
the biggest.
That one scared the hell out of me, dude.
Bernstein Bears?
Yeah, the bear. Do you remember?
Berenstein.
Yeah, do you remember it as the Berenstein Bears or the Berenstain Bears?
I want to say Steen because Steen, I don't know. This is me being a conspiracy theorist, but Steen sounds more Jewish, and there's probably a Jewish producer behind it. So yeah.
So it's saying that it's not, that it's the Berenstain Bears.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Bear stain.
And then
Bears.
Curious George supposedly had a tail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
My entire childhood is being rewritten as we speak.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Febreze or Fabri. The spelling of Febreze.
Oh, Febreze.
The Mind Buzz is powered by Mind Buzz Media. Mind Buzz Media is an on-site video and audio podcast production company. Have you ever thought about starting your own video and audio podcast? Or do you have an existing podcast that you want to take to the next level? Mind Buzz Media brings a professional podcast studio to you. Visit mindbuzz.org for more.
Oh, Febreze. Because to the right is Febreze. Yeah. It wouldn't be.
But it's spelled
Febreze.
with one E.
It is?
Yeah.
It is?
Hmm.
I always thought it was spelled with two. What the heck?
You want me to go get it right now and see?
We have one in the in the room. So it's just these things like
Yeah, these subtle little differences. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I went my whole life without knowing what a Mandela effect is.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty wild. So that's why I said it is that bee mascot. Is it a Mandela effect? Because I really didn't know.
I don't
that.
either. I think based on where you went, you might or might not have seen
Could
the
be.
bee.
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't
Yeah.
remember seeing the bee.
There could be certain, reasonable situations to where it could be that.
You know what? It's probably, I'm not sure if these were like independently franchised or, all owned by one person. But if you think about it, if they're independently franchised, some of them are like, I don't want to hire a guy just to go around and, greet
out
people. What? No, like go wash some dishes, I don't know. Some people are like that. Like, I don't want the extra head count or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that could be that.
Mm-hmm. So wherever she went, it was like a very generous hometown buffet. Like, yeah, everybody gets a job. You get a job. You get yeah.
I went to the one right there in Lakewood.
Lakewood. Okay, see
Where
Lakewood.
the Lakewood Mall is.
Pretty nice. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, being like one of the nicer ones for sure.
That's a nice one.
I don't know. I thought everybody saw it.
I didn't. I don't remember seeing
You
it.
guys missed out.
No, I think it was all
Or
the.
maybe you guys were too busy at the carving station that when
Yeah.
it came out,
Oh, yeah.
you guys
I was too busy pouring ice
pouring
cream everywhere.
ice cream,
Yeah.
wasting ice cream.
I was too busy waiting at my table for that fresh ham to come out. So as soon as that comes out, I'm just rushing to the carving station, bro.
You were
Yeah.
chatting it up with the carver. over
I
there.
was, yeah. like that little meat or that little video. It's like, which one do you like? The ones. That, it's like, oh, we're so awkward. I'm just gonna.
Oh my god!
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
It's like there's like this video of a guy at the carving station who's just trying to make small talk, but he's just the most awkward guy in
Really?
the world. Yeah,
It's a skit or something.
it's kind of. I feel like it's cut out from like a show or something.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, this is how we're gonna be after the pandemic because we're all gonna be socially like awkward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those where you see it on your timeline. You're like, oh, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah. How did did you work from home during that time?
the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. So I was fortunate. I got to keep my job. And I actually kind of switched jobs, like not necessarily during like peak pandemic, but towards the end when those kind of starting to open things back up and whatnot, when you could travel and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I had to, travel to go to the interview and whatnot.
Yeah. That was a weird time, dude.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought, like in your lifetime, you're going to see the world shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember just being in parts of like being on the freeway when there's no traffic, when there's supposed to be a lot of traffic. You're just like, what is going on here? It's like a ghost town.
Yeah. Walking, like going to different places and just seeing people with masks and stuff.
Oh yeah. The whole mask thing just became so overblown. I feel like I was so careful. Were you one of these guys that like went to get groceries and then wipe down your food with like wet wipes?
I was.
Yeah.
we did too.
I was. Yeah.
I was like, man, why did I do that? Like, I mean, at the time, you're like, oh my God, we're going to get it. We're all going to die. But, it just seems so unnecessary looking back.
Yeah. Especially if you picked them up yourself. Well, did you pick them up yourself or did you have like a shopper?
No, I picked them up myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm very anti, what do you call it? What's that, Instacart?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't like
Really?
it. I had a free membership for a while, and I was like, okay, maybe if I'm like in a pinch, but no, dude. There is one benefit to using it. So there's a Restaurant Depot by my house, and Restaurant Depot is one of those places you can't go if you don't have
you
the
need a
wholesale
membership.
membership. But if you go on Instacart, you can buy stuff from there without the membership. So it's a nice little loophole. Yeah.
You could do it with Costco
With
too.
Costco, Sam's Club,
Ah, that's right. Okay.
all
Yeah.
those big ones.
I wonder if the prices are the same, but sometimes you just get access to like certain foods that you can't buy, you know, because it's like restaurant type food.
Yeah.
So.
There's definitely Costco. I'm like, I use it. And Costco prices are ridiculous on Instacart. So they do a markup of like $3.
Oh,
But
per item?
yeah.
Oh.
But it might even out than like getting like the membership or things like that. I don't know.
Maybe. I
never
mean,
buy
they're
from
definitely like kind of sandbagging you over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the convenience is there for sure. I mean, you know, what if you need a 48 roll toilet paper? Where else are you going to get that other than Costco, right?
Yeah, you never know.
So you're very pro, what do you call it? Instacart?
Yeah, I think it's I'm pro being lazy.
Okay. Fair.
if I can go about my day and my business and have less things that I need to be somewhere for, like Zoom video calls, I am all for Zoom video calls. I am all for conference calls instead of going to an actual business and talking to somebody.
Interesting. Okay. So I'm not anti Zoom calls, but I feel like Zoom calls, you get like 30, 40, 50% of the people's attention.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Like if we're in person like that, this is to me a lot better. If you're trying to meet about something important.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? But when it comes to the laziness, I agree with you. But at the same time, I feel like if you do that over time, you're like missing out on like living life.
True.
In a way, you know? Especially as a comic, like, you know, if I were to just stay home all day, like work from home, you know, get everything delivered, not go out at all, I feel like I would just have nothing to talk about over time.
I see.
That's
why
true.
why you choose to go into the store. See, like for us, we're constantly on the go. So like sometimes when we have to commute from Paramount to here, it's a whole hour and 20 minutes. And I want to get home and I know that I need to make dinner, but I didn't go to the grocery store. So I'll order while we're in traffic. And by the time we get here, our groceries are already at the front door. I grab them and then I start cooking dinner.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we use it in the convenience aspect.
Yeah, the convenience is there.
Oh yeah, I've definitely done that all the
Yeah.
time. But I'm saying if I have like that extra
Yeah.
30 minutes to go to the store and come back,
Then you'll go
I'm
in.
like, I'll save myself the money, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely agree with the convenience. I mean, DoorDash, dude, I'm like their not number one customer, but you know, I'm definitely there's at least once a week where I have like this specific thing I order
From
It's like-
DoorDash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I don't feel like cooking. I get barbecue duck fried rice. There's this place in my house that does it. Fucking fantastic. They give you-
Barbecue duck fried rice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that.
That sounds
I'm a
delicious.
fried rice connoisseur. Yes.
Really?
Oh yeah. And duck is like a little harder to come around, you know. So I feel like a place that has it and has fried rice, like, dude, I gotta get that. You know.
What kind of place is this?
I think it's Thai.
It's Thai.
Yeah, it's called like White Elephant.
Mm.
It's not like the most amazing place or anything.
Right.
I'm not trying to shout him out, but even though I indirectly am, whatever. Hey, shout out. All right, White Elephant. But I just, you know, it's like one of those things where it's a great go-to. You know, you get your very satisfying meal. Usually lasts about two meals. Yeah.
See, I agree with door dashing food like that, but sometimes when I don't know, when we DoorDash like McDonald's or something, I don't know, I feel bad. I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
You think so?
Yeah, or when we DoorDash Starbucks and it's like it's literally a mile from us,
Oh.
and I DoorDash Starbucks.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. I hate Starbucks personally.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because I make my own coffee, and I don't think Starbucks coffee is very good. Like, yeah, they're like complex drinks, like those are good, but I just kind of stay away from those. And I'm like, if I'm gonna get coffee, like if I'm gonna go pay for it, I'm gonna get good coffee.
Do you have a espresso machine at home?
No, I make cold brew.
Oh, a cold brew.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I basically just get good beans, grind them up,
Yeah.
and throw them in like a oversized French press.
Ooh,
And,
okay.
Yeah, that gets the job done.
Nice.
I mean, sometimes I buy it from the store.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. I've been trying to go really hard as far as like cutting out sugar and all that. So
Nice.
Amber, have you noticed that because Amber got a espresso machine, and I've been drinking Americanos like pretty much every day. I think now after that, her getting that machine, I don't buy coffee from Starbucks. I just buy their refreshers.
Oh,
like their lemonades. Like I'm super addicted to their matcha lemonades right now.
Really, matcha lemonade.
Matcha lemonade.
Delicious.
It's really good.
That's pretty much all we get is a matcha lemonade. I get iced green tea, no sugar, nothing, or we get an Americano.
Yeah, we don't get coffee.
We don't get like coffee from them. See, I think it's too sweet.
I completely forgot that that's even part of their offerings, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they offer other things, but I just think of them as like a coffee place. Yeah. Interesting. So the espresso machine, you only make Americanos? Do you ever make like cappuccinos, lattes, anything like that?
I don't know how to make it. The only thing I know how to make is an Americano.
Okay.
At this point,
I
now.
make lattes.
Amber makes them.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. She was a barista in her lifetime.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Well, I shop at a trattoria.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
It took me I remember there was this period when Amber was making them all the time, and then I was just like, okay, I need to learn how to make this, dude. I kid you not, it took me like 25 minutes just to, every morning, it took me 25 minutes to make a cup, to just get it going.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it very manual? Like, is it one of those where you
cranks and stuff?
Yeah.
No, dude, it's pretty standard, right?
It's just a matter of like letting the machine heat up, and he wasn't letting it heat up, and he was just pushing the button. Like he thought it was like an instant, like when you turn on like a coffee machine, it's ready to go.
Oh, no, then you would love a Nespresso. That would be your, have you seen those?
No, those are like,
pods.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like Keurig pods, but they're like a lot smaller. Yeah.
No, I haven't seen those.
Actually, I saw those before they came to the States.
Really?
Yeah, because my cousin's family in Argentina, like they had one. And I remember just going there and I was like, yo, this is a cool little machine. You got the little pods. What, dude? And then, maybe a year or two later, like it came here and, it was expensive at first. It still is, but, first they came here, they only had Nespresso pods, and those were expensive. But then other companies started selling their other pods, and, then it went from like $3 a pod to like $2 to $1, and now it's a lot more affordable.
So it was there first, and then it came over here?
Yeah, I want to say it was in Spain first, and then it hit South America, and then it hit North America.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I think we're a little new to the espresso game.
Yeah.
Or like the fine coffee game.
Yeah,
we're like decades behind.
That's why when like, no shade, but shade. But like when because I drink coffee like black, or if I do, I add like a splash. I like the actual taste of coffee. And I mean, back when I used to be in the front, like in the bar area, people used to come and they'd be like, oh, I love coffee, like I'm such a big coffee snob, and and I'm like, oh, okay, and then I would tell them about like the coffee that we had and the origin, and do you want light, do you want dark roast? And then they'd be like, oh, I don't know, just regular coffee. And I'm like, well, no, like there's different types of coffee. And then once they chose what they wanted, then they'd be like, all right, can you do like 5 pumps of cane sugar and like half milk, and then like and I'm like, you don't like coffee, you like sugar, you like cream, like it was like bulking it up. And I'm like, yeah, you don't really like coffee.
Yeah, that's like someone going to a bar and be like, hey, oh my God, I love whiskey. Okay, can you give me a Long Island?
No. Give me an old fashioned extra cherries in there.
Yeah.
Oh, maraschino and black cherries, dude.
Mash them too. Oh,
yeah.
I think we're very, in the US, we're very like, we need our sugary drinks. And that's what coffee became, was like Starbucks. Like Starbucks makes all the frappuccinos and all the other drinks that you get, and they're all full of sugar and like just packed with cream, and no one really knows what the taste of coffee is, because if you really drink Starbucks coffee, like it's not that great.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not.
I didn't want to start by completely shitting on you guys, like saying, oh my God, fuck Starbucks.
No.
But no, I completely agree. Starbucks, no, terrible coffee.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, you're not shitting on us. We don't buy
No.
Starbucks every day. We buy it like whenever we're on the go, and we get like the teas
Yeah.
aspect of it. And
Okay.
even then, it's not even that.
Yeah, not even the teas, just the lemonade, dude, which is, we can make one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lemonades, drinking horchata Diaz coffee is, I think it's really good. But
Oh, yeah.
I didn't start really getting into coffee until I started dating Amber. Like, she got me my first French press. She got this espresso machine. And the coffee there is just at the shop is just really good. Now, every time I go to a coffee shop, I get an Americano. That's just my go-to drink.
Sure.
And I can taste the difference. It's like, okay, this is burnt. I feel like this
He's
is
a coffee snob now.
yeah. Now I am. Yeah. I can't get Americanos from Starbucks anymore. I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you've grown out of it. Yeah, that's respect. Yeah. I wouldn't call myself a coffee snob, but I definitely like kind of pick and choose where I get it from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my thing used to be, I used to love Dunkin'. Yeah,
okay.
I used to think Dunkin', because they were like on that whole sugary, like they were a little late to come into California, but I remember I tried it because I was on the East Coast. I was like, yo.
It's big out there?
Oh yeah, dude.
Dunkin'?
Yeah, Dunkin' is like, I think it was big in Boston. Yeah, like what's that movie based out of Boston with like Ben Affleck, you know, the super smart guy. I'm blanking on the name.
Good Will Hunting?
Good Will Hunting, yeah. So they like went to, you know, Dunkin' in the morning, and that's like a very Boston thing. It's like, yeah, you gotta get your coffee and your donuts and whatever, yeah, and somehow evade diabetes. I don't know, but yeah, I remember that was like my first like sugary coffee that I really enjoyed. I was like, yo, this vanilla, whatever, like, you know, additive they put in there, fire. But yeah, then I grew out of it, and now I'm more of like I'll drink a black cold brew or like sometimes a pour over. I feel like pour over is not worth the additional money. You know, those are like $5-6, like a nice coffee shop. I'm like, I'd rather just get a cold brew stronger, you know, or a nitro, dude. Nitro cold brew.
No.
Those are wild, dude. There's this coffee shop right here in Chino called the Dirty Penguin. Me and Amber had that. Their cold brew, their nitro cold brew, dude. I felt like we were
like crackheads.
Crackheads, dude. Oh my god, I felt like I was tripping on something, dude. We went to the Target in Long Beach on what city? What?
It's Long Beach.
The Long Beach one, right?
Yeah.
By the 91?
Cherry.
By the 405.
No.
Oh yeah, on Cherry.
On Cherry.
Okay, I go to that one. Yeah, that's pretty close to my house.
We went there. What time was it? Like
It was like 8.
8 p.m., dude. I was just like, people are looking at me. I was.
one of those?
It made me paranoid, and I was telling Amber, I was like, is it just this Target, or do I feel like everybody at this Target is looking at me, or are they tripping? Like, I thought something was wrong with them.
And
dude.
mind you, we had the coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
So we weren't living together yet. So I had spent the night, and we had coffee in the morning, and the girl's like, "Oh, do you want to try our new nitro cold brew?" And we're like, "Yeah, why not?" And we both took it, and then we ate, and then we made our way back to Paramount.
Yeah.
And the whole way, I was like, "What's wrong with me? Something's wrong with me." And then he was thinking the same thing, but we weren't telling each other that we were like.
The whole car ride from Chino to Long Beach, we were dead silent. We didn't talk to each other.
Really? Even though you were like cracked out on caffeine?
Yeah,
just,
we were like in our head. Like it
Yeah.
was weird. Like I was like, I feel really weird, but I don't want to tell him. I don't want to scare him. And I'm like, oh my god, this car's getting really close. And I was like cracked out. And then we went about our day. And then we went to Target at night before he dropped me off at home. And it was like 8 p.m. And he was like freaking out at Target. And then I was like, what do we do? What's wrong? And I'm like, do you feel weird? And he's like, yeah, do you feel weird? And I'm like, oh my god, it's a fucking coffee. So
I want to try this nitro cold brew now. Yeah, because I think nitro cold brew could be very deceiving because, well, first off, it doesn't use ice because the nitrogen keeps it cooler, so you get more. And like I've seen a lot of places, like I think Starbucks and Coffee Bean, if you order a cold brew, they'll water it down.
yeah.
Like I've seen them like scoop up a ton of ice and then put some coffee in it and then water it down. And I asked one time, like, yo, don't water mine down. What the fuck? Like, and they're like, no, we have to. Like, this is, I'm like, dude, what? I'm never getting coffee or cold brew again. So now if a Coffee Bean or a Starbucks has that and I have to get it, all right, I'll get the nitro.
Yeah.
Like on tap. I'm watching you. Don't water it down. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm watching you. Yeah.
Have you had a Dutch Bros before?
No, I heard it's good.
Yeah.
But I haven't had it, no.
We had that in Arizona, right, Amber? Is that when we had it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had it a few months ago. It was okay.
I heard it's in Orange County now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they brought
Yeah.
one closer.
Orange
Okay.
County?
Yeah, they just did it. I think Orange County.
Wow.
One.
They're going to be popping around here
They're
now.
gonna take over.
No, I don't think so.
I heard it's sugary. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
This is what I just heard from a friend who tried it.
There's nothing. I think that's why we didn't get anything else when we had to get a sugary one, because they don't really sell you like just iced coffee. Like it has to have something else in
Like
it.
a syrup or something?
Yeah. Like they already kind of pre-made like each drink type of thing.
Yeah, that one's whack.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
I don't know.
are you originally from Argentina?
Yeah, I was born there.
Really? dude?
Yeah.
Wow.
I came to the States when I was 5, so I spent most of my life like in the States.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was born there. Like, I grew like Spanish is my first language. Yeah.
Do you like vividly remember Argentina?
A few things here and there. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I went back the first time, I remember like going to my old like preschool and I was like, oh, okay, there's a theater there, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. So the little things here and there, but like, yeah, not a ton.
When did you go
Yeah.
back?
The first time I went back, I was like, I want to say 18 or 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my parents waited till we got citizenship, even though we could have gone like earlier. I think we got green cards and I was like 13, but they're like, nah, we're going to wait. I'm like, wow, all right. Yeah.
How was it out there when you went?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a trip because you grow up like with it. Like my parents like did a really good job of like not only passing down the language but like the culture and the little things like the mate and but the food of course. But it's crazy like actually seeing everyone do it and like everyone speak like that because over here there's very few Argentinians.
Yeah.
So when I would hear people speak Spanish, like our type of Spanish, I'm like, yo, you seeing this guy? What?
Have you met any Argentinian? That's how you say it, right? Argentinian comics.
Yeah, I met a few actually. Yeah, so I got a couple one of my homies who I met maybe a couple years ago out here, Pablo. He's a comic, Argentine comic. He puts on a Spanish show, I believe, every other month in Pasadena.
Oh, really?
Is it the guy with the glasses?
Yeah,
yeah,
Pablo
Pablo.
Carpintero.
Yeah.
That's right. He came to our first live, right?
Yeah, the one that does a joke about Tijuana, right?
Yes.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
him.
dude.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's a killer, dude. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's the man. So, yeah, so he had a show that was all in Spanish. It was my first time doing comedy in Spanish. Well, technically second, but anyways, this is like my first actual show. The
Right.
first time was like I did like a 3-minute little for my grandma's like 90th birthday. But that's not really a gig. That's like a here you go, like
Yeah.
But anyways, so there I met a couple other Argentinian comics. One of them like lives, I believe, in Tijuana. The other one like lives like out here, in LA. And yeah, it was cool. Like I never thought I'd know like 3 other like Argentine comics like in LA.
Do you know that there's a Argentinian like little restaurant there in Paramount?
I've heard of it.
It's called the Sandwicheto, I think it's called.
Oh,
It's by Horchateria.
I haven't heard of that one. There was a girl actually telling me about a new spot in Bellflower that I haven't been to yet. I think it's called like Rincon Argentina or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I gotta check out the one in Paramount.
Yeah,
She
that
said they
one's
do
been
sandwiches.
there like over 10 years.
Ooh,
They've been
okay,
there for a long time.
fire.
And what do they serve there?
I don't know. You know what? I've never been.
Pull it
I
up.
always pass by.
Pull it up. Do you remember the name of it?
Yeah, it's called Sandwicheto or something.
Sandwicheto. What is that? What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm assuming.
What does that mean?
Just
Lucas?
sandwich,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. How different is the Spanish?
It's
Compared to-
subtle differences.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the cadence is different, and like instead of like double L's instead of we say sh. So we say pollo instead of pollo.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't heard Argentine Spanish?
No,
Oh, dude, yeah.
not really.
Yeah. Che boludo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like very like Italian. No,
It's got I
I don't like this angle. I don't like it anymore.
All right.
think it's cool. I look a little blurry, but what were we saying, Amber?
I was gonna say, because you were talking about mate, like, isn't it pretty strong too? Or it's not.
Caffeine wise, no, but it's strong on the stomach. Yeah.
And it's good for your gut, right? Like it's good for you.
Yeah. So apparently, according to you guys know Andrew Huberman.
No.
Okay, he's like one of those. They call him a wellness bro. I don't like putting people in that category, but he's like this like big buff dude who's like, you need to go outside and stare at the sun every day. It's like, but he's cool. Anyways, he said that there's like a property inside of it that like helps you burn fat, which I didn't know. I kind of just drank it because I like the taste and it's cool. Messi drinks it before soccer games and he's the GOAT. So But
right there it is.
Oh, there you go. Oh, they got the nice little. Yeah, those are fire. Those on the left, that's a Vigilante.
This one?
Oh yeah, it's like a nice buttery croissant, but it's got this little like cream. It's like a melted on cream. Oh, it's so good, dude. Yeah.
See, it's right there.
El Sanguecho.
Sanguchetto. You know what? I might have been here before. Now that I think about it, it's like a tiny little spot inside, right?
Small.
There might be like 3. Okay, I've been there once. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, for sure. Every Argentinian like restaurant/restaurant market looks like that.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. The one I grew up going to in LA, it's in the valley. It's called Mercado Buenos Aires. Looks exactly like that. They all usually have like a little market where you could buy a bunch of Argentine products, a deli, and then a restaurant. So yeah,
It's like a restaurant, and then it has like all these different products in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it just food products, or is there like toys and shit in there?
Mostly food products.
Yeah.
They'll have like jerseys, and like stuff for mate. Like the actual mate is the yerba, and then the like the little what do you call it? Like the water containers, because you need like warm water to drink it. So they have these little like the big canteens almost.
And what is it made out of, dude?
What?
That drink that you were talking about, the one that Messi drinks before.
Oh, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
What is it made out of?
It's usually like a metal or ceramic cup.
Mm-hmm.
And then it usually has like a metal straw that has a filter, because it's a loose leaf tea. So you like put in, there's like a whole process to doing it, but basically you grab the ceramic cup, and then you put in the mate, right? And then you shake it up a little bit, get some of the powder out. And then you stick the straw in, you throw in a little bit of water just to kind of, and then you let it settle for like, I don't know, a minute. And then you constantly have to keep refilling it to drink it. Yeah.
And it's like it's a blend of like herbs and stuff.
I think yes, because there's different like flavors and different types of herbs you can get for it.
I'll see like this.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have your hot water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're drinking it out of a straw?
Yeah. So if you were to drink it continuously, it might last like 4 or 5 seconds, depending on how much you consume. But yeah, you constantly have to refill it. So sometimes, like, my parents would like to go to Vegas a lot. We'd go on like road trips to Vegas, and they would bring that and the whole like water thing.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. My dad would be driving and be like, "Hey, can you refill me?" Yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. And yeah, that was like our thing. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome, dude. Mm-hmm. So how did you get into comedy, man? How long have you been doing comedy for?
7 years now.
7 years?
Yeah. How did I get into comedy? Honestly, it was one of those things where I like watched it from afar, and I was like, man, I kind of want to try it, At first I thought it was easy. I was like, oh, that looks fun and easy, like I'm gonna go. and of course it's not easy. Very much the opposite, like extremely difficult. But yeah, I just kind of tried one day. Where was my first spot? My first place I ever tried it, there was an open mic in Sunset Beach. It's a place that used to be called Bricks. I don't know what it's called now. It's still there. I don't think they do comedy anymore. But
It's in Maywood?
No, it's in Sunset Beach. So
okay.
in between Huntington Beach and
It sounds familiar.
yeah, it's still around. It's under a different name, but it's a wine bar.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like went and checked it out. I was like, okay, this seems chill. It's like no stage. For some reason, like the idea of a stage and a spotlight like scared the shit out of me. But I was like, all right, no stage. People are just kind of hanging out, like telling jokes. Okay, I'll go. I like wrote a few minutes worth of material and I did it. It was very racist, but you know that's how a lot of
usually
open micers start.
The first couple of jokes they got to be racist.
Yeah,
you got to go through your racist phase.
They got to be like a racist or anti-women, like some blend of like shock value type comedy, but
overtly gross material. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did that, and then I eventually progressed to. At the time, I was living in Huntington Beach, so I was like trying to do stuff in Orange County or whatever is closer to my house. I finally was like, all right, I need to face my fears and get on like an actual stage. So I tried an open mic at this place called the Harp Inn in Costa Mesa. Still around. I think now they do like a weekly Monday show. Shout out Evan Cassidy. He's been doing it for a while now. But yeah, I went there. Different producer at the time. They had like an open mic and a show. So I just started going there, and from there it kind of just evolved. It took me a while to make friends. For the first year, dude, I would just go, like, wait for, like, sit in the audience, wait patiently for my turn, watch everyone, go up, go back to sit down and watch everyone else. The mic's over and go straight home. Like I had no, like in retrospect, it's crazy just thinking like I had no idea that I had to like make friends or that was even part of it.
To network. And
yeah, but it's a huge part of it. I mean, I feel like you can't do comedy without the whole community networking aspect of it.
How long were you doing that without networking?
Like a good year.
Good year? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's not too bad.
I mean, I would say I would have friends that would come out, like non-comedian friends. Right. They would find out I'm doing comedy. Like, oh, we want to go check you out. So I'll just bring them all to like an open mic. And, I didn't know like not that you're not supposed to do that, but like, you bring them out, they see the same material all the time. Maybe I work on new shit, but I'm not good. And I appreciate them so much because, they're like supporting me when I was just like such a terrible comic, in my opinion. But eventually, like, the people take notice, like, oh, like this guy brings a lot of people. Let's put him on like a show or a competition. So I did that for a little bit. And even then, like I was kind of starting to meet people because I met like the comics I'll compete against. Mm-hmm. But even then, like it took me so long to put two and two together. It's like, oh, I should probably make friends and, try to actually build relationships in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those untold things, right? It's like there's not necessarily rules, but or guidelines to it, but it's just the way that the culture is. Like I'm fairly new and I'm barely starting to like, now that we have the podcast and I'm talking to all these different comics, getting their perspective on how they started and what they did and what they didn't do and bringer shows and all that stuff. The last show with Darby and Johnny Gold, if you haven't watched it, go watch it, dude. That's like more than 90% of the podcast we talk about bringer shows.
Oh, yeah. That's I'm not fully against them, but I understand why people don't like them.
Yeah.
In theory, a lot of shows are bringer shows without them being like specifically bringer shows. I think when it becomes a bringer is when they're like, hey, if you don't bring 5 or 10 people or whatever the requirement is, you're not going on stage.
Right. Which
to me is crazy. If you have like if you're 1 or 2 short, like who cares, Mm-hmm. Like if I would never run a bringer show, but even if I did, I don't have the heart to turn someone down because they only brought 4 instead of 5 people, you know? But I just don't believe in that business model at the end of the day.
Yeah. There's pros and cons to it, like I was telling Johnny. But I mean, it's just one of those aspects of the business that is there that people use to, to get stage time or to build their sets or create material.
Yeah, that's why I'm not fully against it. I definitely did like a good amount of bringer shows when they first started. And they did help in a way. They definitely helped like build my confidence, even though like at the time I had no idea that, it's one of the kind of easier shows to do if it's like a packed room where like everyone kind of wants you to succeed or is there to like see their friend. But I've done like really good at bringer shows. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm on to something. I'll keep going, because you definitely hit points where you're like, man, should I keep going? Yeah, but what's your perspective on bringer shows?
On bringer shows, I think it's a good way to get stage time, but it's not. It's a short term. They work short term, not long term. Because I can't imagine somebody doing comedy for 15, 20 years only doing bringer shows like that. That's just. It's crazy.
Oh, you'll run out of friends to bring for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. And how many can you do in a month? Right? Like how many months ago at the club that I won't name that I was doing them at? I did them like back to back and it was like the first time I went was really great cuz I brought like a good amount of people, which I wasn't really like pushing, hey, come to my show. They just happened to show up. Like the producer email or she was texting me and saying, hey, you got another person. You get like every couple of days.
Right. Did you get a cut, by the way?
No.
No.
I did not. No.
Okay, so what were the parameters? Like bring 5 you can perform? Or?
You bring more than, was it 3 or 4?
I think it was 3.
It
was 4.
You bring 4 and you get
to perform.
You get to perform, but if you bring a couple of more, you get a free video, which was cool. I like the free video.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I can cut reels, which I haven't cut them yet, but I can make reels, shit like that. So I was like, oh, cool. That's cool. But that was my first bringer show. The second time, it didn't work out that way because I guess their expectation was me bringing.
Because you brought like 5 people.
I brought like 7 or 8.
7. That's right. That's right.
For my first one, and I was like,
so their expectations.
Were 10, and I was like, I don't know if I could do that. But I took on the show. But as we got closer to the show, there was no reservations. So that it looked bad. I got it.
Did you still get to go up?
I didn't get to go up.
No, they canceled him.
They canceled me the morning of.
The morning of.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least you didn't show up there. But that does suck for them to cancel the day of. Yeah.
But she was like, you know what? We'll just reschedule you, which is, I don't know. And this is the thing. Like, we'll reschedule you. Give me a date. Give me your avails. And I'll schedule you for another prime. Because I guess it was a prime time spot. And she was like, okay, I'm going to reschedule you for this date, this time. You already know, bring 10 people, yada, yada, yada. So she rescheduled me. Didn't happen again.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to think, I think I know where you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of got like a French vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's an interesting place. Oh, for sure. I've done a couple shows there. I think one time, I did a show there where they're like, oh yeah, it's a bringer show. I'm like, all right, cool. So I show up and I'm not planning on bringing anyone. I'm just gonna do this. I don't usually do this. Like if I tell someone I'm gonna bring someone, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. But this time I was like, yeah, I'll promote whatever. I'll try to get people out. But yeah, I go and the booker, she's like, oh, where are your people at? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Let me check. Oh, You know? And I'm like, oh, it's not looking good. I don't think they're gonna make it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well, you can go next time. I'm like, all right, cool. That's all I want. I just wanted to kind of wet my whistle and see what the spot's about, and it was chill. But yeah, I feel like if the expectation is to bring that many people, like 8, 10, you can just find a smaller venue that fits like 20 people, find a co-producer, and run your own show, and you get to keep maybe not all the money, but most of the money, That's at least my philosophy on it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm also very pro barking, which a lot of people don't do here. Like, I've heard it's a New York thing, but yeah, I don't see anything wrong with barking. Like if someone's like, hey, you want to co-produce? I used to do it when I used to, produce shows. Granted, if you're doing it like day of, yeah, it's kind of like a last ditch effort, but it's worked.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, like I've it depends on where you do it too. So if you are doing it like at a club that's close to a bunch of places where there's foot traffic or people kind of walking around like at bars trying to do shit, you're like, hey, you want to go to a comedy show? $10, come on, 15, whatever, how much the tickets were. And usually some people are like, you know what, that sounds great. And sometimes I've gone and I've like passed out a flyer and I'm like, hey, it's tonight. And they're like, oh, you know what, I actually really, really want to go, but like I can't tonight. But next time, for real. And I've got them to come back off of that. So there's definitely like a market for barking shows.
Barking shows?
Yeah, but I feel like it's got to be the right place, somewhere like the Stand-Up, for example, the club in Bellflower. That would be a good place for that, I think, because you've got all these other bars around. Depends on the day of the week as well, but like generally speaking, Thursday might get some decent foot traffic. Friday, Saturday for sure. But I mean, if you're gonna produce a show out there, they're probably not gonna start you on a Friday or Saturday.
The first time I heard the phrase barking with comedy, it was with have you seen that show with Pete Holmes called Crashing?
Yeah.
Oh,
love that show.
My God, dude. I love that show. We finished it, in a couple days. We binge watched it, me and Amber, or at least I did. Amber would pop in every now and then. But dude, seeing that, like seeing his experience, at least, granted it was a show, right? But just the little details in an open micer's life, like mirrored. I was like, what the? I'm watching like me. Right, I'm watching people. This is real. They got it really good.
They did. It's a little exaggerated, but I get it. Like I mean, if you're gonna, there are people that meet, very successful comedians like very early on. But I thought that was like the biggest. Oh, dude, that's so unrealistic.
Yeah,
like, you're crashing that Bill Burr's house after doing comedy for a year. But that does happen to some people. Like
what I liked about it was the highs. And then lows. Like, remove the details away from that. Like, you can do a show opening up for a Jerry Garcia or a Paul Rodriguez, and the next weekend you're not doing that. You're back at an open mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I
meant.
I love the episode when he comes back from touring. And I think he just did a bunch of colleges, and then he shows up. And he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm trying to get some stage time." And he goes to the laundromat show. He's like, "Oh, I can get you in a couple months." Like, couple months, bro. Like, this is a lot. Like, no disrespect to laundromat shows, but you would think, you're feeling good. You just came off a college tour. You're fucking hot, and now you're like, "Damn, now I gotta wait 2 months to do a laundromat show." Like that just. But that is the reality of comedy. Yeah. It's very much like highs and lows like that.
It was showing the different scenes, like it was showing, or the different sides of the comedy business, right? The comedy world, touring colleges, the Christian market,
right? The
alternative rooms like the laundromat and the houses, the garages, the backyards, and then the club scene, and then the other bigger clubs that there are. It was wild to see that.
It was. And I always forget that there's like, especially a religious market. Like obviously I know about the corporate, like private good. Excuse me.
Which the money is there.
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, the churches and stuff, that's interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I had a homie who went to med school in Vegas. It was like a Jewish med school. And he said they hired some comedian who like said he was like offensive and had like an offensive name. Whatever. I have no idea. I've never heard of this guy, but it's funny. Like I guess they hired him and like 10 minutes in, they're like, no, this is terrible. Stop.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, and then he's like, this is crazy. Like, did they not read the description of what they were like paying for? I was like, dude, you should have like hit me up. I could have got like
Yeah.
But I think it's funny how like people will hire someone knowing like they have a track record of like being a dirty comic or whatever, and then they'll do the gig and then they'll be upset that they did that kind of comedy. It's like, bro, like this is what they do.
Yeah. Like I did a show on Saturday in Santa Anita at the Santa Anita racetracks for laughs and lowriders. So it was a car show and then they had a comedy show in between horse racing.
Was it during the day?
During the day.
Whoa, okay.
Outside.
Oh.
With winds.
Yeah.
So I'll crazy stuff, but what happened? So the wind started picking up outside 3 minutes into my set. Amber's gonna pull up the video right now. We're gonna show it live. I'm gonna post it tomorrow.
Were you gonna circle in with saying about one of the comics talking about blowjobs?
Yeah, yeah. So at the end of it, I made like a. I don't. You've heard my set before. I don't really talk about like body parts. I'm not dirty, but I'm not clean. I'm like somewhere comfortably in the middle. Mm-hmm. I said blowjob, like after the wind was blowing and everything. I was like, oh, how about that blowjob, whatever, just to get the crowd back into to get back into it, right? And after I was done, there was another comic that like straight away opened with blowjobs and fucking and all that stuff. So the promoter is, I guess he's talking with somebody on the phone, and he tells somebody else, "Hey, like we gotta cut the dirty material. This is
was
this
it
is
like
not
a
good."
family friendly event where there were little kids there?
There was kids there, but there wasn't that many.
They said that somebody at I guess that was watching the races, so probably somebody that was in the stands, called the racetrack and said, "Hey, we find it offensive."
Yeah,
they're talking about blowjobs.
Wow, so you had one Karen just completely ruin it for everybody.
Yeah,
that's great. Damn, that sucks. Man.
I thought it was me, dude. I like after hearing that, I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like this is why I don't say blowjob. I don't even curse in my. Mm-hmm. In my
you totally
sets,
can
dude.
though. I feel like unless you're doing private gigs or you're trying to do one of those like audition type spots at like the Factory or the Improv, like most places you can be as dirty as you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I don't. That's just not how I formulate writing. Mm-hmm. I just don't. At the beginning, I did, and then I threw in some cursing in there. I was like, you know what? It doesn't feel right for me because I really don't curse that much unless I'm like really nervous or I just can't find another word to say.
I try not to curse a lot during my stand-up because I've heard from like an OG, like if you do it a lot, it loses its significance when you do curse. So it's like if you want to curse to put emphasis on something, then only do it when it's actually meant to put that emphasis on,
right? In your stand-up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's some words that like I can't really avoid. There's no other way to say it. Like in one of my jokes, they say, "Oh, I look like a fuckboy," but it's like there's no other way to say like fuckboy is just such a unique word that it's like, I have to say that. If I said F-boy, it'd be like weird, like F-boy. Yeah.
Pull it up, dude. I want to. We got to show the people that are watching. I'm posting this tomorrow, but if you guys are watching, you guys can see this right now.
I can already see the win. Yeah, dude.
Is that how it's gonna play?
I hope not.
Very supportive
Oh, yeah.
of all my arts.
My stomach.
I play guitar too. Whoa.
Whoa. I feel so bad for that DJ. Wow. You're so selfless. I would have kept going. Whoa. Okay. Maybe I'll
jump over you, man.
And that's Jay, by the way.
Oh.
Jay's recording. Johnny C in the back.
Oh, that looks cracked.
All my arts.
Yeah, dude.
That cracked
was,
screen. Oh, that hurt.
It was wild, dude. That was a first for me. I mean, first outside gig, and then that happens.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of outside and like daytime comedy, but you know, I've done it before.
Yeah.
I usually don't turn down gigs unless it's really bad or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do it. I'm of the believer, like, if you conquer like comedy in the most extreme environments, like that's why I love bar shows. You know, like rowdy bar shows. Like, yeah, dude, bring it on. Like, it's only gonna make me better.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this happened on Saturday. On Friday, dude, I had another show in Pomona. It was on.
You don't have to say, just.
Yeah, it was right there on Friday, right there on 2nd Street, right there at the corner outside on the patio of a restaurant. I won't say the restaurant.
Okay. Does it rhyme with Flanagan's?
No.
Okay. I went to school in Pomona, so I used to go to downtown Pomona. A good amount. Yeah.
So it was right there on the corner of the street, right? I'm outside on the patio, and like 5? The guy asked me to do 15 minutes. I was like, okay, 15 minutes. All right, we'll see. 2 minutes. I wanted 4 or 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. During my set, I guess it was like the owner or something, or a manager. He walks up to me. There's no stage. I'm right there on his patio with the microphone.
So you're mid-set.
I'm mid-set, dude. He walks up to me and taps me on my shoulder
While he's performing.
while I'm performing. Hey, dude, how much time do you got? Like, do you know when you guys, like, I want you to do the comedy, but do you know how, like, when you guys are gonna finish? I was like,
what?
Yes.
yeah.
Like, you couldn't wait till after your set to... Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Wait, so this is the guy who like booked you to do the show?
No, it was he's like a manager or like the liaison between the producer and the restaurant. Like he was like a floor manager or something.
Oh, I
But
see.
they wanted, because initially it was inside the location, and then we had heard that. So it was inside the location. 2 comics went up, and then they announced, "Hey guys, sorry, but they're moving us outdoors." So we're like, okay. And then we heard that the last time they had a comedy show, people were complaining in there because people were trying to eat their steak, and then people were talking about balls and dicks. And then so the
crowd work too. He didn't like it because
they were
people were eating, and
So
there
they
was
moved
comics
the
doing-
show outside in the middle of the show. So 2
Yes.
comics go
Yeah.
up, and then they're like, "Hey, we're gonna move the show outside." That's
So then
crazy.
we go outside, and then they literally just have like a speaker and a microphone, and we're like, okay, like where's all the people watching? And then they start there, and then it starts raining. So then we move to the side of the building, which had an awning.
Yeah.
And that's where they started. And all the comics went up, and then Gil was like one of the last ones, and then the guy that was running like all the events and stuff comes, and that's who taps him on the shoulder. So what they wanted to do was that they were gonna start a rave. So it's
oh
weird.
my god, that's
Start a
Yes.
rave. What
Yeah,
kind
in
of
the
place
back.
is this?
dude.
Hold
There was
on.
like 4 or 5 things happening all at once
Yeah.
in that restaurant, dude. It was wild.
So they were gonna start the rave, and they wanted to start the line right where the comedy show was happening.
Yeah.
So that's why the guy was like persistent, like, when is this gonna be over? When is this gonna be over? But instead of asking the guy running the show,
producer, they
he
asked
went
the
up
comic.
to Gil while he was doing
Yeah.
the set. Hey, how many more minutes do you have?
Oh my
left?"
god!
Twice. He came up to me twice in 15 minutes and asked me when I'm going to be done.
Wow. I mean, talk about lack of organization, bro. How I don't get how they're like, yeah, we want people to eat their steaks like in peace, but then they're also like, well, we're actually going to bring a rave inside. That makes no sense.
exactly.
Dude. That's crazy. I was actually going to be like, hey, like, what's up with this show? But I don't think I want to know about it anymore. Dude. Yeah.
There was 2 DJs outside. Oh, and plus all the comics were doing like 20 feet away from us. There was a DJ. There was 2 DJs, and they were playing techno music.
While during your set?
During the sets. Everybody's.
How are you supposed
set.
to perform? What? Dude,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You talk about doing comedy in weird places. That was probably the weirdest place I've ever done stand-up. And granted, I'm fairly new, but it was a wild experience.
That sounds very unfortunate. I'm sorry you had to live through
Crazy, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, I would have. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would have been like, "Hey, DJ, what's up? Could you throw some little songs in between my jokes or whatever?" Like,
Yeah.
No, they were like boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
and it was
God.
like, hey, like, what's up, everybody?
See, okay, so there's a very big lack of communication.
Oh, yeah.
because
It was,
there should have.
what the flyer said was like art, music, comedy. So what I thought was like, oh, cool. You're gonna be able to experience all of this at different times. Like first you have your comedy show, and then there's probably gonna be people doing live art while the music is going. No, this show was like 5 different things because this building is huge. So later on, we seen another flyer that highlighted every room in the building was set for something different. So there's like 3 stories, and then there was like a rave at the top, a rave at the bottom, a band in the back, spoken word inside, comedy
That was a lot
outside,
of
art
stuff,
in
dude.
the middle, and it was all happening at the same time.
A Ferris wheel, a food fair. What else was there? Dude, so when I was approached to do it, to my understanding, I thought we were going to be doing sets in between the DJs, in between the bands, whatever, which is perfect, right?
Yeah.
Just to buy some time, keep your guests entertained. That's how I was approached with it. That's how it was going to be. But when I got there, it was exactly the opposite of what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a nightmare, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy how people don't have just even a basic understanding of what stand-up is. Like you can't just throw stand-up in the middle of like a DJ set. Like this is its own thing. And also the whole like, hey, we have comedy, music, whatever. It's like, who are you trying to attract to this event? Like, I mean, if people want to see comedy, they'll go to a comedy show. No one's ever like, you know what? I want to see comedy, but I also want to see DJs and like
I want to see raves
at the same time.
Yeah.
No, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see it, I think there's like one festival that does something like that. I think Life is Beautiful in Vegas does that, but they have it in separate rooms, and like people actually want to go to that stuff. I haven't been in a couple years, but when they did go, I saw some of the comedy. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like at least they have it in a separate area. There's no noise banging, like whatever.
Yeah.
And they had pretty good acts. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So that was my weekend.
Yeah. How long have you been doing comedy now?
Since September of last year. Yeah.
So you started podcasting first and then comedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always talked about it. I've always loved stand-up comedy. I've always loved comedy movies, films, sitcoms. I never really thought about like the people that I really looked up to, like in entertainment, like Chris Farley, Adam Sandler.
I'm a big Sandler guy. Yeah.
Like growing up, that it was David Spade, everybody, Bobby Lee, from like all these different characters in Mad TV, and then watching SNL like after wrestling on Saturdays. Like it was that one thing that I didn't know I really liked until like a few years ago. I was like, oh fuck, like I'm a comedy fan. I didn't really think about that. That's crazy.
I was kind of the same way because I was always like a big fan of like Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, like some of those older like comics. But I was like, I mean, I really appreciate this art form. I could never do it.
Yeah.
And I saw people that I guess maybe like look like me and kind of came from similar backgrounds ish, like Tom Segura. And I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
maybe I can do it, you know?
Which Jay mentioned that Tom Segura is Argentinian, right?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought he was like Peruvian or something.
He
like
does
that.
like shows in Spanish too.
He does. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I think I've seen him like on the road with like Richard Villa and like other like Spanish.
Richard Villa's done shows with Tom Segura. That's cool.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. I remember seeing like, oh, like they're on tour together.
He's
That's cool.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Richard Villa.
I saw him like last Wednesday at have you ever been to Bruce's?
No, but
Okay.
I've seen flyers for it.
Yeah, it's a cool little like comedy spot out in I think it's like borderline Norwalk, Santa Fe Springs.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really cool. Like you get to see a lot of like OG Latino comics there.
He did a full set in Spanish, right, Amber? The first time we seen him, Amber was spilling her guts out on her seat. I don't know Spanish, dude. And just seeing her laughing so much, she couldn't breathe, dude.
Really?
She was laughing. It was making me laugh. Like, she was laughing at him because of his jokes. I'm laughing at her because she can't get a breath in, dude.
Oh, that's funny. You're laughing at it's like the contagious laughter thing. That's cool.
Yeah, dude. I was like, whoa, this guy is that's fucking crazy to do Spanish comedy. Like, I could barely do comedy in English, and it's the only language that I know, dude.
Oh yeah, and he's crushing it in both, which is like, man, I'd love to crush it just in one language. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah. Wait, so you don't understand Spanish at all, or?
I understand. Yo entiendo a little
Okay.
bit, poquito,
Okay.
pero not too much. Amber's teaching me over the 5 years. I know about like 10 words.
Okay. It's something,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
I can order
don't know.
food now. I'm pretty.
Hey, you're progressing. All right, cool. Yeah.
I'm pretty confident in ordering food or small little conversations, nothing too detailed.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I consider myself fluent, but yeah, there's definitely like times where I'll be mid conversation. I'm like, wait, hold on, what was that word? Like, you know, can you give me a hint or something in English? Yeah. But for the most part, yeah, I think I can speak it. But
And plus, living with Amber too is it's a constant. Like, she's always thinking of. Wait, hold on. You're right. Oh, he's Peruvian. Never mind.
oh,
Yeah. Come on, Jay. Get it together.
it's a white passing, Latino. Yeah. Anything like I don't want to say south of the equator, but like, you know, once you pass like Peru and below, I feel like, well, with the exception of like Brazil, because they don't really speak Spanish. Most Spanish speakers there are like pretty white passing. Yeah.
Okay. White, like as a white person?
Yeah,
Really?
like more fair skin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wouldn't say they're all white passing, but like
Right.
a good amount of them are. They look like more European and whatnot.
I wouldn't have thought you were Argentinian.
Yeah, no one really knows.
I thought
to
you
be
were
honest.
like maybe, I don't know, like Italian or. Do you ever get that?
I get that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I growing up, I would get Italian and Persian a lot. If it wasn't white, you know, people like to just kind of throw me in the white
Your
category.
last name is Sisro?
Sisro. Yep.
Sisro.
Yeah.
But in Spanish?
Sisro.
Sisro.
Yeah. I think it's actually of Jewish descent.
So
it is. Yeah.
Who's Jewish in your family?
Both. My mom.
Oh,
and my
really?
dad.
I
Yeah.
was going to
yeah.
say, there's a lot of Jewish people in Argentina.
There
right?
are. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like I'm always having to kind of break it down for people. Like, what? Like, yeah, that's why I finally made a joke about it. Like, yeah, dude, like I'm
A Jewish
I'm
Latino.
Hispanic and Jewish, like 100% both. Like, yeah.
I wonder why. Like, have you ever looked up how that happens?
Yeah, I mean, a good chunk of my family came there like as a result of, World War II.
Mm-hmm.
So, like my dad was born in Argentina. His grandpa or his parents were born in Argentina as well. Their grandparents, though, they came from like the Middle East.
Whoa.
Yeah, so most of my family, like couple generations ago, came from like Syria, Part of them came from Poland, and part of them came from Egypt.
As a result of World War II.
Right. Like all pretty much because of the war in one way or another. Like
'Cause
circumstances.
I think Argentina was what is it called? Like where you can seek asylum, right? It was one of those places that
Yeah.
they were giving asylum to like people that were in need. Because I know it's Argentina, and then another one was what is it called? Where everyone's happy, the happiest place.
Switzerland?
Everyone's happy?
Not Switzerland. One of those places.
Oh, like a European country?
Like a European country. So there's like
Oh,
5
okay.
countries that around that time were giving asylum to people that like needed like to leave another country or things like that. I know Argentina was one of them.
Yeah, no, there's a big Jewish community there. There's like a big neighborhood there too, Barrio Once. Yeah. Just kind of like, I'm probably even bigger than like the Jew towns here. Well, it depends what you define by Jew towns in LA because there's a lot. But, you know, like Pico and Robertson, that's like core Jew town in LA.
That is wild, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's funny you mentioned like the whole asylum thing because now there's countries that like will offer you citizenship, like if you're a Jew. Like I think Spain, Portugal, and there might be some other European countries, but for sure Spain and Portugal offer you like citizenship. It takes a while to do it, but like you can get citizenship if you're Jewish.
Why?
I think because they have like a history of, you know, like
Mm.
not being so nice to the Jews. Like I know in Spain they had like the whole, I think I'm gonna fuck up the word, but it's like Inquisition or something like that.
Uh-huh. Inquisition?
Yeah, it was like a Jew hunt basically.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When was this?
This was like back like I think like maybe 1800s or so. I could be getting the dates all fucked up. I should be better about my Jewish history, but at some point in Spain's history, they like aggressively pursued Jews and tried to kill them.
In Spain.
Mm-hmm.
The Spanish just hate everybody.
What was up with the Spanish, dude? Because they were everywhere.
Oh yeah,
killing
they were
people,
conquering. Yeah, they were
conquering,
trying to conquer. I mean, Colon, you know, like
making slaves of everybody, dude. Oh my god,
man. But they also gave us tapas, so you know, we got tapas. I was gonna say soccer. They didn't invent it. They just kind of, you know, did
they
it.
popularized it.
Yeah, for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah, man, dude, that's Jewish, huh? That's
Yeah.
cool, man. That's to know your history. Did you do like a 23andMe or something?
No.
Have you ever
I've thought about it.
Want to do one of
I don't
those?
know. I feel like I don't want to just. I feel like they should pay me to do it. You know, because when you do that, like they're selling your data to like pharmaceutical companies, and I'm not a big pharma guy, even though I technically work in like the pharma med device space. I feel like it's one of those like if they're gonna benefit a lot more from my data than I am, then like as a principal,
True.
like they should give it to me for free or even pay for it. You know, like give me money so I can give them my.
What about 50% off?
Not good enough. No, I think I'd start with like free, and then from there, like entertain some cash offers. You know,
Yeah.
because at some point they're gonna be like, "Hey, we need more data. We want to make more drugs." And I'm like, "All right, well, show me the money." Yeah. But I mean, I talked to my parents, and they've gave me. I don't really need to go further than like, you know, where my ancestors came from in the Middle East or like Europe.
Yeah, but that's good to get that type of information from your family rather than getting it from, you know, an app on your phone.
But sometimes,
Right.
sometimes our family gets it twisted because for a long time they would tell us, "Oh, we're German. We have German blood, German." And then my mom and a couple of her sisters did it, and there's not even 1% German in there. And we're like, "Where the hell did they get this?" And we're like, well, "I don't know." And then not too long ago, I also found out that one of our last names was actually not. It it's not our like original last name. That one of our ancestors was adopted by someone, and that last name was given to him. So now it's like all like jumbled up, and we're like, what the hell? Like, this is what we've been told for years, that this is our last name. This is who we are. This is where we came from. There's even a place in Spain with our last name. And then now we come to find out it's not even our real last name.
Plot twist. Dude.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like Gil did you did Ancestry, right?
AncestryDNA.com.
And a lot of his aunts that he asks now, like, oh, where are we from? They're like, oh, I don't know, we're from here. And
we're from East LA.
And then his
literally, that's what my Thea said. Amber, like it was what, your first time meeting them?
Yeah.
Amber asked them, hey, where's your guys' family from? And my Thea right away.
Like East LA.
We're from East LA.
Yeah.
All right.
I forget that there's like, families that have been here like 2-3 generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's me.
Yeah. Well, and then also like, where we are, it used to be Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like there's definitely people that probably stuck through it while it was like Mexico, and then
Gil's family. Gil, when he first did the Ancestry, it came out that he was 80% indigenous Mexican.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is huge. And I'm like,
from
dang.
what the data says.
I'm like, that's a lot of incest in your family.
That's what I thought, dude.
To not cross. And then as years go by, we start realizing that Gil's great grandfather was here when they took over, when California became California. Wait, am I saying that right?
When Mexico, like, because we're up north, right?
The US
California.
took over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the border crossed his great grandfather versus him crossing the border.
Right.
And that's why the percentage of bloodline is so strong, because they didn't travel from up higher Mexico to the U.S.
Yeah,
they
stayed
here.
Yeah, I didn't understand that until a few months after I got. I was like, how am I 80%? But did we used to live in Mexico and then we moved back somehow to the States? I didn't.
That could have.
I didn't
happened.
get it.
I mean, it depends. I think when the land here was like developed, or
right.
if there were, because I heard. I don't know about like how far back this goes, but I heard Chino used to be like very much like all farmland. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean,
Kinda
they still have
is.
some. Yeah, they still have.
There's an egg farm down the street right here.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've gone to like borderline Chino, Corona, and like I've gone to the slaughterhouse there. I've seen some
really.
shit. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, one of my best friends is Cuban, so for his engagement party, his dad like took us to the slaughterhouse. And it was my first time. I was like, oh, I want to be part of the whole process, because like they roast it like slowly, and I'm like, oh, I want to get the whole experience. And then he's like, oh, today you become a man, and like he takes me, and it's interesting. I'm not gonna go into detail, but he was like, before he went in, he's like, just don't give the pig a name,
Whoa.
because you go pick one, and then that's it. Yeah.
And they did it inside the
farm.
The farm.
Yeah, so there's a farm, and then there's like let's call it a processing center. Like just right next.
Was
to
it indoors? You guys were doing everything indoors, or
no?
outside?
So the farm where the pigs are, they're outdoors. But then afterwards, they walk indoors, and then that's where the magic happens.
Was your dad's friend doing it like himself, or
oh no,
there's machines?
No. The only thing you do yourself is like you pick the pig, and then after that,
it takes them through like the whole machine and everything. Were you able to see all that?
Yeah,
really?
Oh, you could see everything.
Oh my god!
If you want to, yeah.
Did you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like stoked, but I was like, it's part of the process. Like, let's just, I was curious,
How did you feel after it?
I felt fine.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's some like graphic images in my head, but they eventually go away.
Some people think that we went to Sinaloa, last year, right? And her dad, told me, it was like, hey, we're going to pick a pig. Do you want to help us with it? I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Right.
Yeah.
In the morning, 6 a.m. wakes me up. We go out. We see the pig. Huge thing, dude. Huge. And he gives
What
me
are we talking, like 150 pounder, 200?
it was pretty big.
Okay.
He hands me the gun, and I was like, what?
Like a handgun?
A handgun.
Shotgun? Okay, yeah.
He hands
okay.
me the handgun, and I told him, I was like, in my mind, I'm not saying this out loud, I've never fucking shot a gun ever in my life.
Yeah.
Like, this can't be my first time doing this to a pig. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. You can.
Yeah.
And the guy, because we're on a ranch.
Yeah.
We're on a ranch in Sinaloa. So the guy ends up doing it. Pow, right to the pig, dude.
Like,
And-
didn't even hesitate. Just,
Nope.
All right.
He did it twice. Or,
okay.
dude, so he was going to do it the first time, and the safety was on.
Mm.
And then he laughed a little bit and put the safety back on, and boom. And yeah, dude, and he was telling me this because he's explaining everything in Spanish, and I don't know what he's saying. And Amber's dad was telling me, he was like, "Oh, they're gonna stab it in the heart, so that way all the blood rushes to the heart. So that way when they start cutting it up, all the blood is rushing to the heart, and it's not going everywhere while they're
Right.
cutting
I
it
heard
up.
you gotta if you're gonna kill them, it's gotta be quick.
yeah."
Because I heard if they die like slowly, they release some sort of chemical that makes the meat really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was also telling us a story where like one time I guess he was like driving back home with the pig in the trunk, but he hears like something like moving, rattling, like what the hell? So then he's like, oh shit, the pig's still alive, like they didn't get it. So you have to go and like quickly just and then they can proceed.
Yeah.
Because if you just let it die, it's gonna ruin the meat, supposedly.
I was there through the whole process while they were cutting it up,
You
dude.
saw it get
Oh, okay.
skinned.
Skin.
I see. I
cut.
saw that whole thing. Yeah.
They wanted me to do
Did they
video.
have to heat it up?
No.
No.
Interesting.
Okay. Where
It was right there on a 6-foot table that you
Oh.
A fold out.
a fold out table. Dude, this is a ranch, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a ranch.
You're right, because where I went, they had some like equipment. Where,
No,
like,
this
they heat it
was-
up, because they're pushing out multiple
Yeah.
animals at a time. It's not just pigs. They got lambs.
Yeah.
They got cows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that they're moving volume, not like Tyson type volume, but
Uh-huh.
like they're moving volume.
No, this was rancho volume, dude.
Okay,
Right there with the regular knives, dude.
Hey, well, that's a true like farm to table.
It
process
was,
right there.
yeah, it was quite an experience, dude, and to eat the chicharron like right after, like from
Oh yeah.
from pig pen to your plate, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Literally within a couple of hours.
Were you scarred at all, or were you okay?
No, I was fine. It wasn't really bad. I mean, I was fortunate to the way that I looked at it was, who else is going to be able to experience this? There's not that many people that get to experience this
Very
or
true.
want to experience it. So might as well experience it and be grateful that you don't have to do this yourself
Right. Yeah.
because of technology and the time I live in.
Mm-hmm. It's important, in fact, to see the cycle of life like that too, because then you think like, oh, it's not just like a little piece of meat on a shelf in the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's like this came from something, and I feel like it'd make me value it more. Like I'm not just gonna waste this, or I'm gonna like really make use of the whole animal type.
Absolutely. And that's what another cool thing too was that after they chopped up everything, every piece of the pig was given to somebody in the ranch or given, and we drove around in the truck and we bagged up different bags and we're going to different houses and just dropping off, hey,
That's cool.
this is for you, this is for you, this is for you, because her dad bought a huge fucking pig, dude.
Yeah.
And that was a lot. There was a lot. that came from it. So that was a good experience too.
How did you guys cook it? Did you guys like dig a hole in the ground, or you do it in a spit?
No, it's so in Sinaloa we make it like chicharrones, what we call.
Oh, okay.
So you just pretty much that's why they gave out other pieces, because they don't need, like in the chicharron you don't use like the ear, the snout, or anything like that. And then my aunts do. So the ranch is all my family. It's a small ranch. So everybody there is family. But yeah, so we do like a big tub, like an aluminum tub, like a caso, that they say. And then you cut up the pork in small bite-sized pieces. And then you just start mixing and until it just like kind of fries up, and then it's like meaty in the inside and crispy on the outside.
Oh.
So they're not like chicharrones, not like the hard ones, like the Mexican ones here. It's like they're like meaty chicharrones. So almost like what's the Vietnamese one, or the one that you like to eat, Gil?
Pork belly?
Like
Pork belly?
There you go.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like pork
It,
belly.
it has that texture.
So
Nice.
it's like that. So it's like pork belly tacos, and we eat it.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah, because the Cubans have a way of doing it where like they slow roast it.
Yeah.
And the skin still gets crispy, so you technically do get chicharron, but then you can get a little slice of meat.
They call
too.
it lechon, right? That's what they call it.
Yeah,
Like
lechon.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I went to Cuba, that's all I
You went
ate.
to Cuba,
I
dude.
went to Cuba.
I'm jealous. I want to go to Cuba.
I heard they closed it again to U.S. So you have to go through
Man.
Mexico or Argentina.
Oh yeah, I heard.
Oh, they closed
okay, so
it
you
to the U.S.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want
Oh,
US citizens.
that's what it was.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind going through Mexico. That's sure.
Yeah.
I went in 2019, so they had just opened it too.
Oh, nice.
And I went that first year they opened.
Nice.
I didn't eat chicken. I didn't eat they didn't have any. I ate pork my entire.
Really?
Yeah, because when you get on the island, there's certain things that you can and cannot have. Like there's not really grocery stores or convenience stores. You don't have like a 7-Eleven. If you're hungry at night, you're just kind of have to like hold your hunger, because you really can't go get snacks or anything like that. And depending on what they have in the island while you're there is pretty much what you're eating.
Oh.
So they're very scarce in chicken. They don't have chickens. They don't really do beef. They don't really have beef, but they had a lot of pork that time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you can only eat like at restaurants, or do they have little food stands?
No. No, there's hardly any food stands that we came across. Maybe somewhere in like, like where people live and things like that, maybe, but there wasn't really anything for us to purchase out. There's not like like if you go to Mexico or any other like country, you can go out and get tacos or whatever out on the street. Here it's not there. It's like super duper scarce.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go into a store and they probably have like one pack of cookies, and it's not even like the whole pack. Like they'll sell you like one sleeve. And
Really?
Whoa.
yeah. It's they don't have an abundance of anything.
Did you take any pictures of that? Did they allow you to take pictures?
Yeah, you could take pictures, but
Yeah?
I didn't personally go into any of the stores.
Oh.
My Nina did. That's when she got scammed. Remember?
No?
She bought. Because we couldn't find snacks, and at night we would get hungry and nothing was open. So finally she found a store that had snacks, and she bought a box of cookies thinking that it was the entire box of cookies. And she took it back to our room, and once we got there, we're like, oh my God, cookies. And we opened them, and there's literally one sleeve of cookies in the box. And then she went back and she was like, hey, I think there's cookies missing.
Oh.
And the girl's like, well, how do I know you didn't eat them all? She's like, I just left the store. And then later on, someone told us, they're like, yeah, they scam you sometimes. They're not supposed to. If you report them to the police, that they can take them and like pretty much kill them or
Oh my
incarcerate them
God.
for a
Oh,
long time.
dude.
So they shouldn't be scamming. That's why there's really no, like as a tourist, it's very safe because they're really scared of like punishment. And there's no guns or anything on the island other than like military, but like no one really has guns. There's no drugs on there or anything like that. They're really strict. Yeah.
Cuba.
Cuba. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go anymore. No, I still want to go. Yeah.
But it sounds safe for tourists, right?
It does. Yeah. for
Just
sure.
to see that, and then all the old cars, right, Amber? I didn't go with her. She went with her family and friends, right?
No, just my Nina.
Just her Nina. Yeah.
It's definitely, it was an experience. I came back pretty bummed out. I did. I think.
And sunburnt for some reason.
Yeah, I was really sunburned. The sun's really, really hot. But I came because we befriended our house host.
Oh, okay.
So when you rent an Airbnb, it comes with like a house host. Again, because of you not being able to access goods. So like her, pobrecita, but she had to go. We drank so much water because it was so hot that every day she would have to go from store to store to store. And we didn't know this till almost the end of our stay. But she would ask us like, oh, just send me a like a message saying that you guys need water or anything refilled. And we'd be like, okay, we need another case of water, thinking like she couldn't access water. And then at the end of our stay, she's like, no, I actually go to like 3 or 4 stores just to accumulate the case of water for you guys. And we're like, oh my God.
Talk about hospitality.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. It was like, I felt really bad for her, but she was like, no, it's okay. Like, she was like, it's fine. And we tipped her really well. I ended up leaving, like, she didn't have like a hair straightener. And she's like, yeah, that's something that I'll never have. And then I like left her my hair straightener and clothes and
nice.
everything and stuff like that. So I came back with like an empty suitcase, but I was happy to give to her. And if they catch her with those things, she can also be incarcerated.
Can she really?
Yeah.
For a hair straightener, bro?
Yeah, for something that, yeah, because the purpose of, I mean, they're still a communist country per se.
Yeah.
And the way that they were explaining it to us, that's what I'm saying. I came back very like, oh, like really bummed out. Is pretty much like you can't really progress in your life or make your home better or make yourself better because then they start asking, well, where did you get the means to buy it? How do you have money to buy a hair straightener if we're all equal and we're all making the same money? If you're able to own a hair straightener, that means every single person here can. So how did you do it? So it's
What do you think if
things.
they found it? What would she say? Would she say that a tourist gave it to me? Like, is that up for punishment too? Do you think?
Yeah, you're
Really?
not supposed to really take, because they also have 2 currencies. They have your tourist currency and they have your native currency.
Oh.
And we weren't able to really tip them our tourist currency unless they were in tourism. So they worked for tourism.
Oh,
like
but this girl wasn't.
She worked for tourism. Yeah, 'cause she was a house host. So maybe she would have maybe get off a little bit easier, but somebody else, like if I would have given stuff to someone out on the street.
Or
and they don't ask you, like people approach you and they don't ask you for money. They ask you for goods. They'll be like, oh, do you have anything? So I remember us going to like the 99-cent store before we left because they said that they needed like basic necessities, like literally like pens to write with. We took like sanitary, like pads and stuff like that. We took rubber bands for your hair, like just these small things that we had read that people needed. And those were goods that they were asking for. So instead of giving them money, because they can't accept, again, tourist currency, we would give them like, oh, here's a pack of pads. And they were like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, we can't get like the amount that we need here and things like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
man, you know what? I feel really bad now about my hometown buffet.
Yeah, about
Ice
wasting
cream.
your ice cream.
Right? Yeah. Came
After
full
hearing
circle
that.
there. Yeah.
You made me feel like a piece of shit.
We're all pieces of shit here.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
dude.
it really changes you. It's a cool place to go, and then you see the architecture and you learn the history of how it really was because it's beautiful. Like if you look
I bet.
past like it being like in ruins, it's amazing. And it was a place where every single Hollywood starlight person was going, and there was money and there was everything. And then when the communism hit, it was just like it like went to poop.
That's a wild story to watch, like some history on Cuba and how it flourished in like the 1950s and 60s, dude. And then imagine seeing it after, because I went into it after when you got back and looked at the history of the communism and everything in Cuba, and just to see it, dude, just to see it. And not many people from the United States are able to see it now unless you go through the different countries, dude.
Yeah, some people are willing to make the journey, but
Yeah.
It sucks that, it had a huge fall from grace.
Yeah. And it's the perfect ideal. Like, it's the perfect society.
If it would have worked.
If it would have worked.
What, the communism?
Communism. Or socialism. Is it socialism? They're socialist, right?
Yeah, but it was the
Not
way,
to get too political.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah.
to get,
I mean,
but
I feel like it's one of those things that sounds good in theory, but I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't actually.
It can't happen
believe in
because
it.
of the human, just our human psyche and just the way we are,
Right.
As people and as human beings. I don't think it would ever.
it was supposed to, like Castro and like Che Guevara, because they're like the right hand man. The way that, so them two, like, not even to drag this along, but they both were like really young when they came into power with like all of this, and they were like anti-government, anti a lot of things. Like, they would go out and protest, like, and they really wanted to turn the country into like a fuck you type of thing with like capitalism. And that's why they turned to that, was like, hey, if money doesn't exist, if classism doesn't exist, if everybody is equal, we can live amongst each other and just enjoy life. And that was their philosophy behind what they did. But then they allied with Russia, and Russia's idea of communism was totally different. And that's where their downfall came. But again, in theory, if it would have worked exactly the way that they intended it to, it sounds fucking amazing, but it didn't. And, it is what it is. It's crazy. It's really crazy. They have like one of the best like medical like doctors in the entire world. And then they were telling us that these doctors work their normal job, and then they have to go after their job and be bus drivers just to make ends meet. So you have a doctor here like saving lives, and then he has to come out of there and he has to go and drive buses to just like be able to make a living, because he doesn't make anything off of being a doctor.
That sounds insane.
Yeah.
I could see why a lot of people escaped. I'd be like, fuck this, dude. And once you find out how much money you can make as a doctor here, I'm like, I'm out, dude. Peace.
Yeah. But I don't think your credentials work.
I think you can get recertified out here.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but I
it's
think
possible.
there is a path. Yeah. Like, I don't think they would make you go through all of like medical school again, but there's definitely like checks in place to like make you to make sure. Yeah. And if not, I mean, there's tons of other countries where you can go work as a doctor, and maybe you won't earn what you earn here, but still make good money if like in most countries as a doctor.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. That's wild, dude.
No.
That's wild.
I didn't mean to put a damper on here.
No, it's cool. I mean, it's I feel like it's a good example of like, okay, well, maybe we should never go that far left, Like, I believe in balance, and I'm like a center type of guy.
Yeah.
Politically, so that I feel like Cuba is like a great example of like, well, that's what happens if you go too far that way.
What do you think about speaking of left? What do you think about did you see Jerry Seinfeld's clip? Do you have it, Amber? We'll play it and then we'll talk about it for like 10 seconds and then we'll get you out of here, man.
Sure, yeah. No, I'd love to see the full context. Yeah.
Nothing really affects comedy. People always need it. They need it so badly, and they don't get it. It used to be you would go home at the end of the day. Most people would go, oh, Cheers is on. Oh, MASH is on. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore is on. All in the Family's on. You just expected there'll be some funny stuff we can watch on TV tonight. Well, guess what? Where is it? This is the result of the extreme left and PC crap and people worrying so much about offending other people. When you write a script and it goes into 4 or 5 different hands, committees, groups, here's our thought about this joke, well, that's the end of your comedy. They move the gates, like in skiing. Culture, the gates are moving. Your job is to be agile and clever enough that wherever they put the gates, I'm going to make the gate.
So he's talking about sitcoms.
Yeah, I think so. Because he's involved in Curb. You know,
Right.
Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yeah.
which is probably like the sitcom, even though it just ended. I don't even know if you can call it a sitcom, but like the show that kind of pushes those boundaries the furthest. But yeah, I see where he's coming from, and I think there is some truth to it. Because you can objectively say comedy movies in the past 10, 15 years suck.
Absolutely.
Right? Like we haven't had like a super bad, I
think just movies in general.
Yeah.
They haven't been.
Some movies have been okay, but yeah, over the past 10 years, I can't tell you like one of those, oh my God, I need to watch that again.
Oppenheimer.
Classic type movies.
Oppenheimer.
Maybe.
Was good.
I actually haven't finished it. I was trying to watch it the other day.
How do you
It's
not
so
finish?
long.
How do you not finish?
I fell asleep. I have this really, comfy couch. And so I'm 2 hours in and I'm just like dozing off. Like, okay, does it have to be 3 hours or whatever the fuck? But yeah, The Irishman's also very good. But again, do you need 3 hours? Anyways, I agree with some of what he's saying. Yeah. Now there's more outlets to, get something out there, but to have like a true Hollywood production for a show, yeah, I feel like there's just less opportunities and they're more willing to give it to someone that has like, a unique story, even though it may not be the most interesting or the funniest. Yeah. How do you feel about it? So
originally when I heard about it, I thought he was just talking about comedy in general. But after listening to this, I think he's talking about sitcom, which there hasn't been a really good sitcom in a very long time. So I think the dial has changed, at least with comedy sketch shows and comedy sitcoms. Like, when's the last time you heard of a great... Because he was talking about like sitcoms from like the 60s and 70s. Of course it's going to be different from now.
Right, because I mean, after that, we had a ton of good ones, right?
In the 90s.
Yeah.
80s and 90s.
Seinfeld, Friends, even though I'm not the biggest Friends fan, like I, can say like they had a popular, good show for a lot of people.
Home Improvement was one.
Yeah.
I loved Tim Allen.
Yeah, even some of the animated ones.
The Drew Carey Show was good too.
Family Guy, Simpsons, King of the Hill. Some of those were like kind of pushing those boundaries, and they still are. I mean, Family Guy. I don't know if they're still going, but I watched a new episode like 2 years ago. I was like, oh, nice. They're still like, making fun of people, which is funny because like South Park and Family Guy still like push the boundaries, but they get away with it because it's cartoons. Like that makes no sense. Like,
right.
Like you just don't want to be, I don't know. It's really strange. I do think part of it is also the whole like AI thing. Like, studios are getting greedy and they just want to like maximize the most they can out of like one human. Like, do we really need 15 humans for this? Can we just hire 5 humans and like 5 AI or whatever? But I don't know. It's unfortunate. I think I believe in the whole everything that goes up must come down and vice versa. So at some point we'll get good TV shows again.
What he's talking about the gate about, so from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So like right now, right? There's cultures change, right? Like the point of interest change. Comedy has changed. And I think it's just finding exactly what Jerry said was finding the gate. Where is the gate right now? And then work your way around it, which it's not going to be a one road gate. There's going to be several of those roadblocks. Even now, like writing now, you write, right? What you say in the next 10 years is going to be the perspective is going to be different. right? Like if I wrote a joke 50 years ago, right, and trying to do it now, it wouldn't work.
It might. It depends. I mean,
If it was generalized,
yeah, there's definitely like shelf life to certain jokes, like especially contemporary jokes. Like if I were to make a Biden joke now, in 10, 15 years, maybe people won't even remember who Biden was. You know? It's like, oh, it's just that one guy who kept falling asleep or falling off his bike, whatever.
Right.
But there's definitely certain jokes where you make and you're like, oh, that still holds up. Like Rodney Dangerfield, right?
Oh, his is
whole
timeless.
thing is like,
it's timeless.
Yeah, it's like I'm a cuck. Like cucks, have existed throughout like every century, every like period of time.
Right. I think because it's his persona that is timeless. His persona is, I don't get respect.
Right.
That's never going to change. Like some of his jokes may come off as racist or very machismo. What's the word in English? Whatever.
Like very like masculine or toxically masculine.
Right.
Whatever.
Something like that. Right.
But see, I don't believe in that. I mean, I understand where it comes from. But I'm like, well, that's just someone's opinion,
Yeah.
Like, there are men who think you should be that masculine, and I agree with them.
But it was his opinion 50 years ago.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. I think finding where the gate is or finding where that line is, that border is, and be creative and go around it. Like, that line is going to change in the next 10 years. Whatever our line is right now, going to change in 10 years and it's going to change again. It's going to change again. I think it's our job as a creative person or a writer to find the line and work your way around it. That's just being creative, right? Because it's not going to just be one road. Like there's a were you there when that comic came up at the spot and started calling everybody the F word?
Oh no, I heard about it. That's just, I've heard about that guy. He's just one of those guys that does things for like shock value because he lacks talent. And there's always going to be guys like that, especially when they're first starting out. Like those guys don't make it that far because there's like guys who do that, but they're actually talented, and even them, they still have trouble like making it, quote unquote. Some of those guys are around and like make a living off of it.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, but it's harder for sure if like you don't want to adapt to like the technology and like you want to stick to that like I'm going to be purposely offensive lane. Yeah, it's going to be harder, but you can still do it.
Yeah.
I
don't know, dude. I think it's just finding the line, creatively going around it. I don't know.
I mean, it depends where you're at, too. Like, if you're someone like Chappelle and you want to just, make a bunch of trans jokes, you can go head on. Yeah. He has a clout for it. Like, what are they going to do? Like, they can't cancel him. He's you already
can't.
one of the goats. Yeah.
He's uncancelable.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
What happened?
Uh-oh. Not enough disk space to continue recording. Okay. Oh shit! We drained your memory.
Put okay.
Yeah.
Put okay. I think it's the recording.
Yeah, it is.
Are we still on?
Oh, so we're still live. Oh, looks like we're still streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still on.
All right.
Oscar, it was your fault, Oscar. You did this. Dude, to be continued, I guess. Lucas,
man.
This was awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Bro. Yeah.
Can you go ahead and tell us where we can find you and if you have anything coming up?
Yeah, man. Find me at Instagram at Lucas_Sisro. That's SISRO. I'm going to be announcing some shows in the next few days, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Later.
All right. Oh, but it's still on.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still streaming. We're still.
Oh, we're still streaming, but not recording.
Not recording.
Oh, that's fine. But can you still press OK?
Yeah, I sure can.
Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, because you stopped the recording. But we're still streaming, though.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Lucas, where can we find you?
Oh yeah, dude. You can find me on Instagram at Lucas_Sisro. I'll be dropping some more reels soon and announcing some shows in the coming days. So yeah, check me out. Appreciate you guys.
Heck yeah, and you can find Lucas's stuff right here down in the show description. If you're watching on YouTube, we are still streaming. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, go down to the show description, find him, add him on all the socials. He has a link tree right there. Hit up the link tree and find him wherever he is at.
Yeah.
Dude, this was fun, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Appreciate it. We haven't done a 2-hour podcast in a very long time.
Flew by.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited for that. And thank you again for always supporting us and fucking doing all that cool stuff.
You guys are the best.
We have a live show. Hopefully we're working on something May 31st, Amber. So do we have anything coming up? It's got to be something.
Yeah.
There's
nothing on May 31st.
And yes, we are excited for this Saturday, May 4th, Michelada Rumble. See you guys later.
The Mind Buzz Podcast.
Ooh, that was crazy.
Thanks for listening to the Mind Buzz podcast. Subscribe to the Mind Buzz YouTube channel and watch full podcast episodes. Keep up with the hosts, guests, and upcoming events by following the Mind Buzz on Instagram at the Mind Buzz. See you on the next one.